1, 2. Hotep fam and namaste. Welcome to another episode of The Alchemistic Mind with your host, Minister M. Hotep. We once again back here on Caribbean Life TV and radio, sending out positive vibrations out to the diaspora. Thank you for joining us on this live segment. You know that we're going to be live, but we're also going to be archived. So you can always come back. If you weren't here for the liveness, you can come back and check it out on Caribbean Life TV, or you can go over to YouTube and check me out on my Minister M. Hotep channel. So either way, you're going to get the goodness. We're bringing you the good, all about transformation, how to transform your life. And you know how that starts? By first transforming your mind. You have to think a new thought. In order to think a new thought, then that leads to a new action, and that new action leads to a new result. I'm here back once again with my brother Chris Williams. Chris is going to drop some science on the art and the science and the skill of manifesting what it is that you want to achieve. That's what Chris has been doing for 40 plus years as a metaphysician. Helping folks from individuals to large corporations to personal clients learn how to bring what it is in their they want into their experience. As above, so below. So we want to think about it and not just think about it. You got to have a plan to how you want to bring it about in a manifestation. And there are certain tools and techniques that are much more effective than others. And Chris is a master at helping to do that. Today we're going to talk about the energetics of abundance. You know, why is it that the money story is actually a spiritual story? So that when you look at your wallet, you look at your bank account, and what you're actually seeing is a reflection of where you are metaphysically, physically, consciously, and everything else. So Chris has some ways of breaking through those things, and we're going to talk with Chris because I don't know about you folks, but I know I am in need of breaking through because my wallet don't look like I want it to look. So I want to change all of that. So now is a great time to tune in, get your pens and pencils ready, and let's hear Chris drop some knowledge and some science. So Chris, on the whole debt to freedom, is it a mindset shift? Is that what's happening, or is it something else? What is it? Why do some of us just stay broke?
It is mindset, but that's kind of a misnomer in terms of the word, because mindset, the word mindset, gives you the impression it's a conscious choice, like psyching yourself up, and that's not what it really is. We have a subconscious mind, which runs our life 95% of the time. And they sometimes refer to it as a biocomputer. And whatever program is running, that's going to determine your mindset, which will determine your feelings and actions, which determines your results. So you want to change the program. It's not about being positive. It's not about positive thinking. It's not about psyching yourself up or being assertive. It's literally reprogramming your belief system. It is done unto you as you believe.
Now, if it's a program, if you said it's a biocomputer, people program computers. Mm-hmm. So who's programming this mindset?
Right now, it's mainly the media, the school system, things you learned when you were a toddler from the people around you. They instill their beliefs into you. And if they have a wealthy prosperity mindset, then that's what you got. And if they didn't, then you got a different script. And you can be 30, 40, 50 years later, you're still running that same endless loop tape until you change it or something changes it.
So how do we disrupt that pattern? How do we change that psychological, energetic pattern?
There are a number of ways. I look at it on two different levels. Because there's things how would I put it? Like affirmations are a common one. They're often called declarations.
What are they called? Declarations?
Something they call declaration in the
right.
church,
Mm-hmm.
where you claim it as if it's already true.
Mm-hmm.
And that's true. But the subconscious, that's a left brain logical process. The subconscious is right brain emotional and visual. And you really can't see yourself being, doing, having what you're affirming. There's a disconnect. So there are a few things that you can do that don't get filtered out by your conscious mind, which is there to disrupt change. It's like we look into the subconscious. It does that and says, does not, jive with what's already in there. And it just rejects it. So a wealthy person says, I'm wealthy, they fully feel that. A poor person says, I'm wealthy, they feel they're lying to themselves. So they're just kind of dropping seeds on cement. Got to get past the cement to the soil. So, true story with me.
Okay.
Years ago, I was I didn't even do this consciously. It just happened. Got an off-campus apartment. I was in college.
You're a Morehouse man, right?
Yep. I'm going to decorate the walls with something that looked decorative. I found these posters that were like 24 by 25. Took poster size.
All right.
And I put up Paris, Eiffel Tower, Hong Kong, London, China. I put up posters for these various places in my room, in my apartment, and I didn't pay any attention to them. But a few years later, guess what? I traveled to every one of those locations on business. Because my subconscious mind never slept, it never sleeps. It's always taking in input, and it crafted my reality to affect that reality. So your walls, the color of your walls, the color of clothes you wear, all the posters and decoration on your wall, all those matter. Your environment is always programming you. It never sleeps. So when you sleep, your subconscious mind's wide awake, looking around. It's called the inner child. The subconscious never grows up beyond the age of 8. Somewhere between 5 and 8 is where it's locked in. It responds to reality like a child. That's why you be watching a movie. You know it's a movie.
Right.
Something sad happens, and you literally tear up.
Right.
Because the subconscious mind can't tell. That's what the power is. So, just like a small child will look at Barney or Mickey Mouse, and they think that is the character they see on their cartoons every day. Right. They cannot distinguish. And so the key is to talk to the inner child with symbols, colors, music, jingles, those type things get past the conscious mind.
All right. So you talked about declarations and affirmations, but I know some folks also practice denials. How do denials fit in that?
Denial is basically saying that you no longer do something, that this no longer is part of you like a cancellation. And usually if you do a denial, you want to immediately follow it up with an affirmation. Like, I no longer enjoy smoking cigarettes. I am a non-smoker. So you want the both. One is breaking up the old thought form. The other one is instilling a new software.
So you create a vacuum, but you have to immediately fill that vacuum.
Right.
Okay.
If you don't subconsciously fill it with something on its own, it'll figure out something to put there.
Okay.
It's never sleeping. It's always busy.
Okay. Now, if we were going to affect those types of changes, you said that there are many things that help to program or reprogram or break your program, such as the colors that are around you, the clothing that you wear.
Most people know that green is a prosperity color. Gold is a wealth prosperity color. Wear those type of clothing. I notice in a lot of the buildings now, the apartments, office buildings, they put using gray. Gray is not a productive color. That's being done because they're increasing technology. So they're giving you gray instead of giving you green and gold and purple, the colors that you need to have around you, that they're going to program you for prosperity, spirituality, and wealth.
So is it important to also have actual gold, real gold around?
Oh, that always helps. That's a vibrational thing, yeah. But until then, make sure your environment, your immediate environment you can control is still supporting what you want. I have like a job, I had, not hot right now, a giant dollar sign poster with two vertical lines. And that's the original dollar sign, at 2 lines, not one. And that your subconscious knows what symbols mean. It knows that means, money, commerce, prosperity. So even if I wake up in the morning and I see that, my subconscious mind is in that state between consciousness and sleep, and it just takes it in, and it just reproduces what it gets. The input it gets, it just reproduces it. Okay. Automatically. So, well, people know this. Most women know if they want to get a guy's attention, put on a red dress.
Woman in red.
You're going to get his attention.
Or LBD, little black dress.
So they understand that. So on a subconscious level, it does affect the male. So they understand that, but they don't usually apply to money. But the same thing applies to money. You know, in your TV shows, you see the rich guy playing golf. What's he wearing? Green pants, and or a green shirt. He's wearing money colors, and he looks out of style, but he's not dressing for style. He's dressing for effect.
So is that why Trump has everything? He's like literally plastered gold around all over the White House and
gold. Absolutely, it continues to grow as well.
Okay.
That's a simple one people can do.
Hey, I guess it's working. He's attracted over $2 billion since he's been in office this past time. I know also that you are very much concerned with the timing of moon cycles and so forth in order to attract. How does that play into manifesting?
Okay, we are roughly, according to science, 70-80% water. The moon controls all water on the planet. That's the cycle of the moon. Midwest farmers use it when they plant crops, and it does affect, how they grow these giant award-winning crops. They're using moon phase to do that. So the moon affects our biology. It affects everything. That's why the word lunatic. People know during the full moon, you work in the ER. It's gonna be a busy night usually.
They get buck wild.
Yeah, exactly. So same thing. And as you understand that the body's constantly building and and being broken down, always at the same time. But this building is dominant when the moon is waxing. When the moon is growing from new moon to full moon, we're in a growth cycle, an attracting, increasing cycle. And when the moon goes from full moon back to new moon, it's decreasing. So you want to really emphasize your affirmations and whatever you're doing, your visualization during the waxing moon. And that's going to bring things more to you.
Now, what does that actually mean? Where are we right now in the cycle?
We're in a waning moon.
We're in a waning moon.
Right. We're in the moon. The moon is going from full back to new. This is the time for rest, clearing things out. This is the time you want to journal. You want to journal something out. This is time to do that journaling. You want to clean the slate to prepare for planting seeds. You plant the seeds for the new moon.
How long does that period, the waxing and the waning periods, how long are they?
2 weeks.
2 weeks each.
The moon takes 28 days to cycle.
Right.
And that's why some cultures have a 13-month calendar, where there are 13 cycles of 28 days. And then, where was I going with that? I don't know.
Well, the 28 days, so it's not on that 12-month calendar.
No, it's every
31 days.
Every 2 weeks it changes.
Every 2 weeks, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
And the moon controls the tides as well. Yeah. So everything based on water is controlled by the moon.
So do you make financial decisions based on the I guess the period of the moon or?
Not really. I choose to focus more on creating what I want, manifestation wise, when the moon is increasing. Yeah, but I mean, with business, I do observe the moon cycle, but there are a lot of other cycles I look at, in terms of. And by the way, the moon is the only cycle. There's not a coincidence that you plant in the spring.
That you plant in the spring.
There are 4 quarters to the moon. There's the first quarter, second quarter is just waxing, third and fourth is waning.
Right. So that's the equinox and the solstices.
Well, no, the spring is the first quarter of the solar cycle.
Okay.
Then the second quarter is the summer. So that's the waxing sun.
Okay.
And then notice you start to harvest and then you rest during the winter. Those are the third and fourth quarter. So the moon peaks at the end of summer.
Right.
I mean, not the moon. The sun peaks.
Right. The longest day is the 21st of June.
So the best chance. That's why you want to launch. Most people do a house cleaning in the spring. You want to launch major projects on a physical plane in terms of activity in the spring. You have the growth. That's when the sap rise in the trees.
Right.
That's a growth cycle. So you catch the waxing moon and the waxing sun at the same time, once a year, and you plant your seeds of business. Launching a project, launching a campaign, doing those type of things work well. They get the backing of the universe.
So waxing means like building up.
Yeah, okay. Increasing.
Okay, and waning is diminishing, going down, going away.
Right.
Okay.
So you want just like you want to launch a ship. You want to launch that ship when the tide is docking. Not launch it when it's going out. But when it's coming tides in, you want to dock the ship.
Okay.
Same thing. You can do it with a strong motor against the tide, but it's much easier to work.
Tides to help you, propel you. Exactly. It's like airplanes when they're flying; they want the winds, tailwinds.
Exactly. It's the exact same thing.
Okay, got it.
Everything works that way.
Now, do you you're also an astrology.
Well, I'm not an astrologer, but it is a part of understanding the cycles of life. Yeah.
Right. Now, do you use astrology to help make decisions, financial decisions, or otherwise, health or otherwise?
I personally don't as much.
Uh-huh.
I mean, it is a science to that. If I really have a question, I'll go to an astrologer.
Mm-hmm.
I'll get that information, but I personally haven't chosen to specialize in it.
Okay.
It's an intense study. Astrology is a very deep subject. It takes 10 years to really become a master astrologer. So it's not the horoscopes in the paper. It goes much deeper than that.
Okay. Okay. Do you use the any other tools like the I Ching or was it I Ching or I Ching?
I'm not sure. I call it I Ching, but some people pronounce it differently.
Right. Do you use any tools like that?
Those are just ways you communicate with your subconscious. The subconscious likes to talk in symbols and images. So those symbols and images allow you to communicate with your subconscious. That's what that is.
Now, what is that for folks who are listening or watching who have no idea what that is?
Well, people who do understand more African type culture, even Caribbean culture, are more familiar with cowrie shells.
Cowrie shells.
A lot of culture would not, the spiritual people would cast cowrie shells. Some cultures cast bones.
Cast lots.
Some people cast tea leaves.
Right.
The Chinese were the ones that the emperors used I Ching the most to make major decisions. They would ask the question what the spiritual energy was doing, and the subconscious, which is in tune with the superconscious and universal mind, would just indicate that in simple. Same way you dream. Dream is a way that your mind is trying to communicate with you, trying to tell you something.
So what is it? Cards? Is it stones? Or
I Ching is symbols. They're all hexagrams. They're lines that you ask a question, you draw the answer, you draw the line based on how the coins or sticks come up. So it's just a symbolic coded way of communicating with your own subconscious.
It seems like so many cultures are using symbols in different ways. Runes and what's that, Celtic culture?
Yeah, yep, exactly. It's all the same. Yeah, there are different ways of using symbology.
Tarot and
right.
Is that the same thing or different?
Another system, but the same basic concept. They're all interrelated. It all goes back to the Kabbalah.
Okay, it goes back to the Kabbalah.
All of it goes back to the Kabbalah.
Okay,
all the religions come from the Kabbalah.
What does the Kabbalah go back to, though?
I'm not sure there's anything predates the Kabbalah, because the Kabbalah is just a diagram of the universe, what we call the tree of life.
Right.
And that's just basically like, okay, you're a doctor, especially a surgeon. There's a book called Grey's Anatomy.
Grey's Anatomy.
And you have to pretty much memorize that book. Huh?
I thought that was a show.
It is, but
okay.
But it gives you a very detailed anatomy of the body. So a surgeon would know every ligament, every tendon, every nerve, all that's diagrammed in there, so they know when they're cutting what they're cutting, how they're putting things back together. So the Kabbalah is the same thing for the universe. It talks about the levels of God, the creation, the process of creation. It goes all the way back to Genesis and how things work. So Judaism kind of gets into it more so than modern Christianity. Right. But same subject.
Now, don't you think, though, Judaism sort of filtered down from the Kemetic studies?
Absolutely. So it's all the same thing. It's all the same thing. All of them, at the end of the day, there's only one ultimate God source, whatever you call that source. And it's just about how you different cultures, different timelines, see it interpreted differently based on what they were dealing with at their time.
Because I know the Vedas, no one even knows when those things were written.
Right, exactly.
So, but I still say that that Hebrew culture was a bit derivative of what was going on in the Kemetic culture, and even that was derivative of what was going on in.
Yeah, nobody really knows when this stuff originated because it's timeless.
Right, because you go down to the Great Zimbabwe, there are actually Ankhs on the Great Zimbabwe. Yeah. So it seems like that culture.
Even if you go back to Lemuria, Aquarius, what do you call it? What's the other one?
Samaria?
No, Atlantis.
Atlantis.
All those cultures, same basic thing.
Well, there was a Pangea at one time, so there was all of them were connected.
Right. So and even what you call
literally, yeah.
And even what you call what's the other one? Some of this elude me, but yeah.
It'll come to you.
My basic point. It's all the same science.
Okay. Now, why? Let's bring it to. We went back to the past. Now let's bring it up to date. Why is it so critically important right now, right here in this moment, for Black folk or Caribbean folk, diaspora folks, everybody really. To start getting? Well, I think especially for us because we have, that they have a head start on us in terms of culturally. Not every white person has the finances in abundance, but when you've had so much of your labor committed to making somebody else wealthy, you get into that mindset of that's what you're supposed to do, and it's hard to break that
it goes
pattern.
more basic than that. And I'm not trying to be critical of anybody, but Caucasian families, Asian families, Jewish families tend to give their children, from my perspective, a better confidence and self-esteem growing up. And African American people are still, a lot of times, giving their children low self-esteem in the way they talk to them, the way they raise them. And that's really the foundation, because your self-image determines everything about your life. You believe you're stupid. You believe you never amount to anything. You believe you're nothing and no good. That's drilled into you when you're 2 years old. Then you got to deal with that first.
Now, I know that the individuals have to take responsibility and accept their own situation to break out of it.
Right.
But there's also that systemic programming that you mentioned earlier that can't be denied as well, because
Right.
When that's what you were taught, that for
Not
200
even taught,
years
not
of
even-
you
not
were
even taught.
you were
There were
told
conditions-
there was a law that
Right.
for 200 years, even in the Constitution, that you were less than human.
Right.
It still is going to take some time to deal with breaking out of that if it's
as
never
a-
been addressed.
As a culture, yeah. But individually,
Individuals, yeah.
Individuals don't take that long. Individual can change their life. You're still individual, and you can change your life, quickly.
Right.
And that's what it really comes down to. It's not about blame.
No, not at all.
Yeah, it's not about excuses. It's about, if you don't like what you're dealing with right now, what do you need to do to change it? And you do have the power to change it.
Yes,
Because
indeed.
you have the power to control your thoughts. Your thoughts control your emotions, control your actions, control your outcomes. So you do have the power. You're never without the power to change your life.
Okay, absolutely.
Yeah.
Change your thoughts, change your life. Transform your thinking, transform your life.
But you can't do 15 minutes of positive programming
Nope.
and then spend the rest of the day talking negative, living negative, doing all the things that neutralize it. Because the subconscious follows a dominant program.
Right.
If the dominant program is still poverty and lack, whatever, that's what you're going to get.
You are what you eat.
Yeah.
So if you're consuming a diet of
And
negativity.
thoughts are food. Thoughts are food.
Exactly. So if you're consuming a diet of negativity and fear, lack, limitation, and everything else,
Right.
then that's what you're building, even more of that. It's
Right.
building a bigger body of that.
Yeah.
So,
And not just about the timing, why it's important now.
yes, that is key.
Okay.
Why now, right
Some
now?
people believe that the end of the world is coming.
But haven't they always believed that?
No, I mean, that's been taught.
I mean, from the very beginning, even the Christians, the ones who followed the way, they were following, but they were selling everything because they thought it was imminent in that end.
Yeah.
It seems like every period. You could have said that of World War II, World War I, Civil War, all of them seem
Right.
like end of the
But a lot of people looking like they're talking from a biblical point of view. They think the world's coming to an end and that's it. And you're either going to heaven or going to hell based on whatever. The reality of the matter, they're not teaching you for the most part. The Mayan calendar is a 25,000 year cycle.
25,000 years.
Year cycle.
Right. Not 25 years,
Right.
but 25,000
Right.
years. Yeah.
So they have the 12 signs, which you basically get to astrology,
Right.
which are the eons.
Uh-huh.
So we're about to change eons. So when Moses was around, that was the eon of Aries, the ram.
Right.
That's why you had the bull.
Right.
Then
Bullhorn, the ram in the thicket.
Jesus is the air is
Pisces.
Pisces. That's why you see a fish on the car.
Right.
That's 2,000, approximately 2,100 years.
2,600, something like that. Yeah.
So now we're going to Aquarius.
Right.
So the shakeups in society are not just political; they're energetic.
Right.
Because we're shifting from Pisces to Aquarius.
Right.
And
But that's not the end of the world, though, because
No, just-
those cycles have, in order for them to have observed those
Right.
cycles,
Right.
they had to go around not just once,
Right.
because that could have been random.
Right.
You had to observe it a few times and say, hey, there's a pattern here that's happening.
yeah, the same thing you see it in the cycles of nature. I mean, let's take from winter into winter.
Right.
You tend not to get as many storms.
Right.
When spring ushers in,
Right.
two air masses clash, and you get more spring storms. You get another set of storms in the summer, and then usually hurricane season and so on start in the fall. These are the cycles shifting.
Right.
So it's the same kind of storm that is brewing now until we actually switch over to the new era. It's the breaking down of the old, coming in of the new.
But I think there's a even more specific storm that I want to spend some time talking with also is that monetary storm. We've been talking about money, and we've been talking about it as a conscious thing, a psychic thing, a spiritual thing. But at this time, this period, there's also a transitioning that's happening.
There's shaking. Two things.
Yeah.
There's a speeding up of things in general. Things don't take as long as they used to come to adoption.
Right.
There's that with technology and everything.
Fastest adoption, technological adoption, and the history of man has been AI. Yeah.
Right. So that's one thing. Then the other thing is the institutions themselves are changing. There's shifts in the monetary system that are taking place that accommodate the change in speed. There's a point in time people used to just barter. There was no money.
Right.
Then there was gold. Then there was paper money. Then there was debit and credit cards, which most people are still on that.
Right.
Now things are moving towards digital assets and crypto. Most money's not physical anyway. When you do a wire, it's really digital.
Right. I mean,
So it's doing that because it's an accelerated way to move everything.
right.
That's all it is.
Yeah, most of us never see if you get a paycheck or a Zelle or Cash App. You never actually see anything other than seeing it on the computer screen.
And it's natural for a change, but these changes are coming. And the best thing you can do, like any other change, you get ahead of it. You know, you don't wait till a winter storm to get a winter coat. You like, seasons are about to change. Let me go ahead and prepare for the winter. When the spring's coming, you start putting those clothes up. You bring out your spring clothes. You don't wait till spring hits to do it.
Right.
You do it in advance. So you know these changes are happening. You know crypto is going to be the thing of the future. If you know that tokenized assets going to be the thing of the future.
What do you mean by tokenized assets?
Right. Well, it used to be, and this is a change most of us who are, in our generation remember. There was a time when the courts and other places had no computers for the most part.
Right.
Everything was done by physical records, physical files. They had to go
Paper
get the
and
file,
ink.
exactly.
Right.
And now most of those things are on computer.
Right.
So now we're going to make it digital. It's like you wire money digitally. So the deed in your hand will be
DocuSign.
will be on a device. It won't be physical. Your mortgage papers, your insurance papers, all that's going to be digital. Because everything's going to be digital on the blockchain, which is a faster way of doing things. So that's all coming.
So when they say a non-fungible, what does the word fungible mean?
Now you testing my. I know, but I'm not thinking to say. I know.
No, it wasn't meant to be a quiz. But I
no,
know that was really big for a while. People were creating art.
Correct me if I'm wrong, but I think of fungible. I think of something that maintains its value, even as like a gold.
Right.
It's fungible. It doesn't really lose its value.
Matter of fact, it's been gaining a lot of value.
I might be wrong, but that's what comes to my mind initially when I think of that term.
Speaking of gold, why are so many people beginning to hoard gold, and the price of gold is going?
Well, gold has been a store of value for over 5,000 years. It goes all the way back to Egypt. So that's like the safe haven asset people look at when things are unstable. They know the dollar is very inflated. There's a lot of shifting between countries and who's going to lead, who's going to follow, and who's going to, there are just changes taking place. So they just feel stable with having some gold.
Specifically, what are some of those changes that are happening that people should be aware of so they can?
The main thing is the dollar is the reserve currency, but we're also highly leveraged with debt.
Is there a difference between the reserve currency and the petrodollar? Is that one and the same?
Well, initially we were the reserve currency from Bretton Woods back in the 30s.
Now, what does that mean, reserve currency?
Like, okay, most import-export in the world is done in U.S. dollars.
Okay.
At one point, all oil was priced in U.S. dollars. But initially, because we held so much gold after World War II, then money was pegged to the dollar because the dollar was backed by gold.
So that was, all of us wanted to, at some point when I was a kid, get into Fort Knox.
Right. So in 1971, I believe, Nixon took us off the gold standard. But that's when we made the petro deal. So around that time, give or take, the petro deal.
Okay.
And the petro deal, they was worked out with the Middle East countries, Saudi in particular, Saudi Arabia, that all oil we priced in dollars. So that again, all countries use oil. They needed dollars to buy oil. So they kept us as reserve currency. But now all that's up. I won't say up for grabs. We still have it.
China's trying to get the UN and
well, there are a few countries fighting over. China is the strongest player.
China probably was the most realistic one.
Well, they want to see gold. They're using their yuan. They're digital. They're doing some things, but we'll see. They're still up in the air. But the U.S. is working to maintain that status, and a lot of changes you see are to that end, because it will affect U.S. citizens significantly if the status is lost.
So how much of that is playing into what's going on right now over in Iran? Because I just heard that some of these oil companies, they're making record profits. One of them, I'm not sure which one it was, but made over 400 times what they did last year because of the conflict that's going on.
I could comment, but I'm going to stay away from the politics. I'm stay away from the politics. I'm stay away from the politics.
Well, I ain't talking. I'm just talking about the finances of it.
Okay.
It seems.
Well, yeah. I mean, the oil prices have gone up, and that makes people need more dollars. Because there's been a drop off in treasury sales. So
there's been a drop off in them.
Yes, some countries, because of our debt, $39 trillion, are feeling like we might not honor.
So not individuals, but other countries.
Countries, right.
Right.
So we're working to just offset that. That's pretty much part of what's going on.
But in terms of treasury debt, is that a strategy for like buying T-bills and notes to actually?
Well, the government note is still the strongest asset in this country you can buy from. Compared to, let's say, CDs, whatever. The treasury is still the primary debtor. That I doubt they default on their debt. So that's a strong one.
So do you think most people are even aware of that they can get treasury? And I'm talking, when I say most people, I'm talking about our diasporan people.
Well, most people know they can go to their brokerage firm or maybe even their bank and buy treasuries.
Can't you buy them directly?
You can buy them directly, yeah. Treasury direct.
What is the benefit of buying direct versus going through a broker?
That you own it. You truly own it. Because there's the whole thing of who really owns assets. And when you go through a brokerage firm or a bank or something else, you're not really the owner per se.
So the bank,
you are the beneficial. You are the beneficiary of the instrument.
Talk a little bit more about that, because I think if I buy stock, if I got it through Schwab or E.F. Hutton back in the day or Fidelity now, that I own that. So
well, we getting into something a little deeper, but it really boils down to this. When there's if a company files bankruptcy, and there's a liquidation, there's I don't want to get too deep into it, because for the average person trying to just make money is not that critical. But there's an order to which assets are liquidated, and whether you're a depositor, or CD holder, or stockholder,
it's just like your lien position.
All these things matter in terms of who gets paid out first.
So it's like a lien position. If I had a debt and somebody takes first position,
yeah, exactly. First position versus second position. The first position, mortgage has precedent over the second position.
Right.
Yeah, it's similar to that. Yes.
Okay.
So in that sense, when you buy Treasury direct, there is no other middle party that's going to claim your treasuries. It's going to be you, the buyer. And when you go through a bank, then these things only occur in a liquidation type situation. So for the average person, that's not
right. It's not something that more than likely. The probability, so there's a possibility, but the probability is not that you're going to.
I think the average person needs to be focused on acquiring assets and building their income, and focus on that. And then once they get that part handled, you can afford to go to the proper tax accountants, tax CPAs, tax lawyers, and investment advisors, and get that advice that the ultra wealthy get. So you really want to, because the laws change, things change constantly in that space, and you need to be somebody who's current with what's going on.
Yeah, what is that?
You need to have somebody working for you that's current.
That's current.
In terms of what's going on.
The laws, okay.
Right.
Okay.
So trying to navigate that space by yourself is, risky at best. But so I'm looking more at people shifting their consciousness to make money,
right?
To buy assets. They use that to be able to hire the professional help, the advice they need.
Because I think that's the key. That's right there. Is you talked about assets. Now, what is your definition of an asset?
Things that make you money.
Things that make you money.
Right.
Okay. And the polar opposite of that is a liability.
Correct. Things that cost you money.
Things that cost you money.
Correct.
Now, sometimes some things can be one and the same, or at different periods, it can shift as to what one is and isn't. Like a home. Sometimes it's a liability, sometimes it's an asset.
Well, it's usually a liability.
is usually a liability.
Right.
Now, wait a minute. I'm a real estate guy.
I would say almost always a liability. Because unless you're using it for business purposes, like a rental property, it is costing you money. You're paying a mortgage, you're paying insurance, you're paying maintenance, repairs. It's a liability.
But in that scenario that you outlined previously, you talked about inflation.
Correct.
Inflation then is going to increase the value of my home. So
correct.
If I bought it for $200 and now it's worth $350, I haven't done anything different.
Right.
But I have a more valuable asset.
But it's not generating you money.
So when you say generating money, you mean
cash flow,
liquid.
Right, cash flow.
Liquidity is the key.
That cash flow. It's just truly an asset is generating cash flow, or can be, or you could, yeah. I mean, the way I look at it, anything can be an asset or a liability, but it's a question of the how could I put it? You can buy an asset and still can turn into a liability.
Right.
Yes. So.
Not cared for, maintained.
Yeah, but I look at the dominant energy of what it does. The dominant energy of a house is to cost you money. If that makes sense.
Well, I mean, you're gonna get arguments a lot. Like I say, I'm a real estate guy. I'm a realtor. So
no, but
we say that the house is the piggy bank.
But liabilities have their place. I mean, you're not going to have all that stuff.
So it's not a negative that's like a debt can be a good debt or a bad debt.
Correct. Exactly.
Okay.
So not like you should avoid everything.
We put values on different words, and sometimes they hit in different ways.
Exactly.
Okay. All right. But right now, you also you schooled me to something a little while back about the digital dollar. Now, what is that, and what are the implications of having your dollar digitized? I mean, we like the paper, even though it ain't paper. I know it's more cloth than paper, but we like that tangible thing sometimes. The Benjamin.
I mean, the
cash rules everything around me.
The digitizing of money is happening. You know, how you feel about it is happening, is going to continue to happen.
But what specifically is the digital dollar? I mean, with crypto.
The best example right now is...
I mean, if I get crypto, I'm going to buy me some, whatever, and then it's going to increase in value, Bitcoin or whatever.
It might increase in value.
It might go down, might go
exactly,
up.
Right.
But the digital dollar, what is the difference there?
Well, there's truly no digital dollar at this point. You want like a CBDC? It doesn't really exist right now, but the USDT is backed by Treasury.
Well, what was the first one that you said?
Central Bank Digital Coin, CBDC.
Yeah. CBDC, Central Bank Digital Coin.
That would be a coin that will be.
Is that like something that's by the Fed?
It will be issued by the Feds.
Okay.
We don't have that right now.
Right.
I just didn't talk about it and a lot of blowback about that, but it has not happened. Right now, USDT is very popular.
Now, what does that stand for?
That's USD Tether. Tether is a company, a corporation that issues that coin.
Okay.
And but it's pegged to the dollar based on the Genius Act, which got passed last year.
The Genius Act.
They just passed that law, the federal law.
Now, what does that entail?
That mandates that what they call a stable coin.
Okay.
Because whereas Bitcoin can go up or down.
Right.
USDT is pegged to the dollar.
What is the benefit of that? If I'm buying or getting a dollar that's the same as my dollar, what's the point? That seems like a lateral move.
Because just like you can send a text on your phone, you have digital wallet as well.
Okay.
You can have your USDT on your phone.
Okay.
Or a separate, what they call a cold storage wallet, and you can transfer it without having to ask the bank's permission, filling out forms. Takes seconds.
Can I do that with Cash App or Zelle or something?
Yeah, kind of, sort of, but it's not quite the same. Because Cash App can jerk your chain a little bit, Yeah, they can basically. There have been issues with that. People have had issues.
Oh yeah, my daughter has had an issue. She's an artist and she sold a painting and they didn't give her all the money and she had a heck of a time trying to.
And they can close your account. A lot of things,
So, but with these digital dollars, they can't do that. Well,
I would say they can't.
I was going to say because I heard the opposite, that sometimes they can control what you get and don't get.
Everything is electronic is controllable, but as a general rule, you're going to have more flexibility if you get a decentralized wallet that's centralized and decentralized. And if you get a decentralized wallet, then you're going to have pretty much freedom to do what you want to do.
Now,
But the basic benefit is that you're not going to pay a $35 fee or $45 fee for that. It's not going to take 3 days since I'm overseas.
Okay.
It may cost you $1 and take, depending on what, if it's USDT, and then it's going to take seconds.
speed of transaction is the biggest thing.
Right.
And the control, I guess the privacy.
Exactly.
Right.
None of it's all totally private because it's on the blockchain, which is a immutable ledger. It's anybody can check the blockchain, so it's not like it's totally private. But
it's hard sometimes to identify who specific wallets belong to, though.
Yeah. But I don't think it's invisible to the government or anything because it's not.
Is that what's slowing the speed of, integration or adoption as they're figuring out ways to control it?
Oh, but they're putting together legislation. Yeah, they're working out legislation on it. They address all the things that are going to be necessary. They're going to come up. Yeah, they're in the process of doing some of that, working all that out.
So as we talked about assets, I think that's going to be one of the keys to going through what some may call a crash or decline or end of the world or whatever is what assets you own, because there's going to be a class that has assets and a class that doesn't have assets.
But I agree with that. But it starts with consciousness. It starts with the programming. You take a stock, same stock. Someone will buy that stock when it's low and ride it up, make money.
Right.
Another person will always buy that stock at the top and ride it down and lose money.
Because they get fearful.
Huh?
They get fearful.
No, not about the fearful.
No, I mean, as they see it going down, they're going to start, many people start selling off.
Oh, no, it goes stronger than that. It's like the one person who has a wealth consciousness, because your subconscious is tied to superconscious, tied to universal mind, knows everything.
Right.
It's going to guide you to pick the one that's going to grow up in value. Whereas the person with the poverty consciousness is going to pick the one at the wrong time where it goes down in value, because that is their program.
Okay, I thought I was taking it like, generally people, when they're in the market and they see green, everybody wants to join and start as it's rising, and the red comes, then they start selling off their assets, although that's the time actually to start buying them.
Depending on who's
Depending
selling.
on what the stock is, right? Or
but it means, let's go back to consciousness. I don't care how hard you work, I don't care how smart you are, what information you're working with, because even the best traders miss the mark sometimes.
Right.
It boils down to consciousness. It all is a reflection of the subconscious programming. So a lot of people don't want to dismiss that. They want to focus on the physical world, and that's what they try to control it that way. That's not where the power comes from.
Okay.
The programming determines everything. It could be as simple as, because of your programming, you get some information from a credible advisor, and you can act on this real. And the other one, you may fall for something that's not even, it could be a scam or anything.
It could be a scam, but it still makes money.
It's like, the good example is that most people relate to is relationships. There are some people that constantly attract negative romantic relationships. They always attract the party that's full of drama or that's full of nonsense or whatever, because that is their script. Until you change the script, that's what you're going to attract. Or they may attract somebody who's always abusive, because that's their script. And you have to change the script, and the rest takes care of itself. But no matter how you consciously try to change it, if you haven't changed the programming, which is really what running everything, then you just kind of swim upstream.
Okay, gotcha. So I know we talked about affirmations as one way of changing that script.
And colors.
And colors.
And symbols and things
Symbols,
like that.
numbers as well.
Numbers too, but not as much. Not as much. I mean, numbers have their vibration. But I mean, as far as just straight programming your mind, I would say symbols, colors, pictures, images, those kind of things will do it faster.
In addition to affirmations, or what other techniques might be helpful in?
Well, I mentioned the poster on the wall.
What you
put on your walls.
Right.
That's very
Some
important.
people do the vision board type of thing.
But to me, the vision board it works, but I would rather you just color your whole environment.
So that you see it all the time, as
Walk in the
opposed to
house,
occasional.
and every room should be empowering your subconscious mind towards what you want.
So that's some sort of prosperity feng shui.
You want cars, then have a nice Lamborghini on your wall. You want a Mercedes, put it on your wall. It's like your whole house is a giant vision board.
Okay.
That's the way you want to work. It's not something you look at for a few minutes. It's the dominant thoughts that matter. So the dominant thought is, if you're around it all the time, and even the clothes you wear, they affect your vibration. So wear clothes that are, your greens, your purples, your your lavenders, your gold. Those kind of colors are just more of that vibration.
Mm-hmm. So what we talked about the things around us, but what about the individuals around us, the people around us?
That too. I mean, you have people that be around like-minded people that are upward bound, that are positive, that are going to uplift you. And I would just say steel sharpens steel.
Right.
You want to be around people that are doing what you want to do, and because it rubs off on you. We become the company we keep.
Okay.
And
Now,
it is vibrational as well.
got it. So what are we supposed to do with those folks, our family, our friends, whoever who may not be vibrating at that level?
If you really, I mean, if you really on your path,
Mm-hmm.
you're working at it, and you're gonna have to be around some people that are empowering you.
Mm-hmm.
That don't mean you get rid of people around you that are not, doing that negative necessarily, but you have to decide if they're toxic to your life or not. Just because they're not upward bound doesn't mean they don't support you in other ways.
Right.
Yeah.
That was my point because we all have those in our lives, and we know that they may still
That may not be their thing.
but they still wish only the best for you.
Exactly. And the respect has to be there. They benefit you in other ways.
Right.
Sometimes it could be when things get stressful in the business or in pursuing money, need that this home energy. You yes, you still love, yes, it's okay, take a break, all that matters. Balance.
Now, suppose you're the guy in the group that doesn't have the money. Now, you say that you take the average of your friends around. You suppose you're the dead weight in the group.
Me personally, I have found that as I pursue my goals, things kind of take their shape naturally. I don't really have to get rid of people.
Right. Well, I would feel kind of bad if somebody's sort of getting rid of me.
Yeah, I don't get rid of people.
Right.
People drift apart, and that happens all the time in all types of whether it's romantic relations, whatever. If you have a partner now growing with you,
Equally yoked.
you're probably going to drift apart. Same thing happens with friends and everything else. You can drift apart. It don't mean that you are not friends. There's no animosity.
Right.
But your paths just go differently. Just be on your square.
Right.
Be honest with people and people respect. And I don't really get rid of people. I just kind of let things do what they do.
Yeah. I agree. It's reason, season, or lifetime.
Right.
And some people are going to come in and out.
And some people cycle back.
Right. Exactly. And no attachment to any of that because you can't take it personally.
I think that the best you can do for people around you is be the best example you can be.
That's what I think is the key. Is
even in all areas of your life.
Going back to scripturally, say be the that light that sits on a hill that can't be hidden. That example.
Yeah. And somebody may choose not to be around you because of that, but they still may cycle back because they've had a chance to think about it, process it, and they say, okay, I want to, and yeah.
That light both repels and attracts.
Right. It's all love all the time.
That's what I think is the key as well. Love. That's why I look at things as either it's operating out of love or fear.
Right.
So exactly. That subconscious vibration that is happening, the one that the poverty, that's fear. It's fear of something.
Correct. And you don't attack that person. What does this say? We've all fallen short when it comes to making the mark.
All of sin and fall short.
Yeah.
Which is simply, as you say, sin is just missing the mark.
So as much success as one may have, I doubt you've achieved perfection.
In everything, right.
Right, exactly. So you can't really judge or criticize somebody else.
There's so many who achieved wealth and then their families fall apart.
And you don't know what somebody's path is. You don't know what their path is. They could be on their path exactly where they are.
Exactly.
So you respect everybody, love everybody, and just do you.
Right. My guys in Spirit, Minister Jehudi and Minister Server, they say, God doesn't wear a watch, doesn't wear a Rolex, Timex, or no other X.
And we're all different aspects of God. Right. Everybody is divine.
So how would you best get someone that's going through this? They've just revealed that there's this huge shift that's happening, a huge change both in the era, the money, everything else. There's a huge shakeup. How do we make sure that we end up on the right side of this? Because somebody's going to win and somebody's going to lose. And right now, if you got the 1% makes more than the other 99% combined, there's something out of kilter.
They're using their tools better. They're using their mind better. They've been programmed better. It's just programming.
Well, it's true, but some of that is advantage that's been taken or given, or that it hasn't all just been because of their minds. And even in biblical times, there was what was called the Jubilee, where there was a redistribution. Every 7 years, debts were canceled. People were given a chance to start over in some sort of way, because the playing field, if it's unequal, can continue to be, increasingly unequal.
Right. Well, my personal perspective, and I'm not saying this for everybody, but I see life as school.
Mm-hmm.
We're all in school. You know, if you're playing softball and somebody else is playing softball and they go in for a slide into a home run and they, skin their knee up, you help them.
Right.
You don't criticize them, even if it costs you that play.
Right.
So it's similar.
But now that's also what your coach or manager has taught you, as opposed to some teams they'll say, and clown you and whatever else, because they're winning at by any means necessary at all costs.
Exactly.
So I mean that beneficence isn't necessarily programmed in everyone. And
so another thing I want to emphasize, because I see this in the younger generation a lot, there's something like get money.
Right.
That's really not the basis of how it works.
Right.
We are all plugged into, we'll say God.
Mm-hmm.
If you call them different names, different cultures, different
universal spirit.
Same thing. Okay.
Right.
We have our assignments. Everybody has that.
Got to be in alignment with our divine assignment.
But you also, and people talk about wealth.
Mm-hmm.
True wealth is created by having a purpose, a cause that helps enough other people.
Go.
And then you get paid by the universe, by God.
Value.
Right, based on the value you bring to the people. So like I say, Henry Ford did not say, I'm going to sell a bunch of cars and make a bunch of money. Mm-hmm. I wanted everyone to have an automobile.
Right.
And that same with Bill Gates and the computer. I want everyone to have a computer. They have whatever that he came up with.
And those inventions changed the world.
Right, because they changed people's lives.
Right.
So you want to really be wealthy, then figure out what change you want to see in the world. Mm-hmm. That you know that you have, because everybody's given a dream and a vision.
Right.
That's what God gives everyone.
Right.
Don't minimize that. And I don't care, and you don't necessarily even talk about it, because some people will ridicule you. They'll tell you you're crazy. That's not possible. What do you know?
You're delusional.
You get real, etc. Ignore all that. Mm-hmm. Your vision is your message,
mm-hmm.
and then just think about it, visualize it, imagine it, and give it life. Don't suppress it. And then the thoughts, the people, the connections, the information you need will start to come to you.
Right.
As you give it thought and energy and life.
Yes, I am a conspiracy theorist, only in that I believe the universe, the divinity energy is conspiring on our behalves. We allow it to. Right.
And there's negative forces, but understand that yin and yang are complementary.
Right.
You will gain more strength exercising in water than you will in air.
There's resistance.
Because the resistance.
Right.
And astronauts lose muscle mass because of lack of resistance.
Right. No gravity.
So don't look at negativity as negative. That's how you strengthen yourself. Take it on as a challenge.
I had a trainer, Al Claiborne, and as we would run the hills, we lived out on Niskey Lake, and there were hills around. It was like a 2-mile trail around. And the general tendency is when you're going downhill is to speed up more. But he said that's when most of the times you're going to injure yourself.
Right.
Really to accelerate on the uphill. And that strengthens you and gives you more. That takes a lot out of you, but it puts more into you.
Right, correct. Mm-hmm. So yeah, but life works the same way. Mm-hmm. The more, to whom much is given much is asked, much required.
Right.
Because
Spider-Man, Uncle Ben said, "Well, great power comes great responsibility." Yeah.
But even before you get the power, it's what makes you get the power is becoming the person. You have to basically become what you want.
Right.
So when you say I'm a millionaire,
be it.
You have to be that person, and you have to grow into that consciousness, and then the money will come. So the challenge is the growth. The bigger your vision, the more growth required, so that when you get it, you're able to handle it.
Okay.
And so that's a lot of people don't get that part.
Many people get it, and then it's gone.
A lot of people quit before they get it because they don't realize why it's so hard. Like, what did you ask for? It takes more study to become a PhD than it does to become a high school graduate.
Yes, it does.
So it's the same principle.
Yes, it does.
It takes more effort in the gym to become a bodybuilder than just somebody in shape.
Yes, it does.
Business, life, money works the same way.
Got it. Now, Chris, we're about to run out of time. How can people find you, get in touch with you?
My best email is power, Power, wealth, WEALTH, the number 4 at gmail.com.
All right.
Just shoot your questions across, you know.
Powerwealth@gmail.com.
Yeah, we have products, we have services and all that, but shoot your questions across and get to understand what you're doing.
This guy is the one who also created the Wheel of Abundance, so that it helps to focus yourself as you are concentrating on these things. Because
I can have my version of it, yeah. I mean,
that's true.
It's an ancient
It's
symbol.
ancient and ageless, but you put your own spin on it.
Yes.
And that's how we do in hip hop. You put a remix.
Yeah.
Something happens before, but you put the remix on it, and that's relevant right now.
Right.
So, Chris Williams, thank you for joining in.
Thank you.
Being a guest here on the Alchemistic Mind. Thank you, Caribbean Life Radio and TV. All you out there, tuned in live streaming every Wednesday at 4.
Okay.